I'm in another man's house, so this intro won't be sus. Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome back to the Game Sketch today. And only today, we are here at another setup. This is Casa del Roger. I'm here because I came to LA to play Sonic Racing CrossWorlds. Of course, you know, thank you Jeff Keighley, thank you Sega for the invite and all that stuff. And yeah, I got to play the game. Like, you know, the last few years I've gone to, so of course, thank you guys for all the love and the support. But yeah, I figured at least I would give you guys at least a basic impressions video. When I get back home, I'll do like the whole, you know, 30-40 minute shebang where I go over everything. But I figured at least I would give you some new impressions based on what I played, because there's a lot. Like, this game not only has changed a lot, but has a lot more, and it's really exciting shit. So I'm just gonna go yap about. There's gonna be a lot of footage that I captured. And first of all, the opening movie, right? The opening CG opening was in this build, and it looks awesome. I didn't get to hear the audio. I know it's on Twitter. Some people are arguing about, you know, whether it's too like cartoony or not, but in terms of visuals, so stylish, right? Which obviously is like a recurring theme with this game, that is a very like good looking game, and that starts to shine a lot when you get into the full game. But yeah, the opening is really cool. I'm glad they continue to invest in, you know, openings for the CG for the racing games, but put it in the main games, you know. Go back to putting them in the main games too. Start the next Sonic game with a nice CG opening, you know, that stuff matters. But yeah, in this demo build, we got access to the Grand Prix, right? You could, you know, customize your carts, all that stuff. You got access to the Grand Prix, 3 of them specifically, and of course, Extreme Gear, which a lot of us have been waiting for and a lot of people are asking for. And again, I'm going to try to give my thoughts on everything. First and foremost, I know people are excited to hear about Extreme Gear, right? And I'm happy to say it's fun. So the way Extreme Gear works in the game, I don't know how to describe it. It's not like, again, you have to keep in mind, like, this game is within the parameters of a kart racer. And so the Extreme Gear, out of all the stats, you know, you have like speed, acceleration, weight, and all that stuff. There's a 5th one that's boost, right? And so when you like go on a hoverboard, like, you know, the Extreme Gear, boost will be like the biggest stat you'll have for that. And so you want to, when you use the Extreme Gear, like heavy emphasis on trying to get your 3 GIFs so you can boost, slipstream off someone, go on the boost pads. Like, it is entirely boost based, right? If anything, you're probably gonna find that it's a little slow if you don't use the boost pads. Obviously, you know, you have the gadget system that's still in the game, where you can help speed yourself up, and that's going to change how you play the game. It can make you go even crazy fast. But yeah, baseline, that the speed of it is normal. It controls kind of like a little bit like a bike in Mario Kart, where the curves are a little heavier, but not like crazy tight like some of the Mario Kart ones could be. But yeah, it basically works mainly like a bike, and again, it's heavy emphasis on boost, and they feel good, and most importantly, it looks cool. I mean, that's really what we all think matters the most with Extreme Gears. It just looks cool. Like, the entire demo, all the footage you're gonna see, I'm just using Extreme Gear the whole time, because 1, I wanted to showcase, 2, it's cool. Now, granted, the cars are kind of cool in this game too, but I've wanted Extreme Gear for so long, and I have it. That's that. I just at least want to settle the score about Extreme Gear. It feels good. Again, it is not how it was in OG Sonic Riders. That's like a completely different gameplay style, and I think, you know, I'm sure they're gonna look at the stats of this game, and if more and more people are using Extreme Gear over the regular cars, then one day we might see that shift. But for now, super fun vehicle option. Was very happy about it. Let's start about the meat of it. So here we got access to 3 Grand Prix. I got to play the first one, which is like the Don Don Grand Prix, the second one, which is like the Wisp Grand Prix, and the third one, which was, what was it? It was the Ghost Boom Boo Ghost Grand Prix. And basically I got to play, I think there's 2 or 3 new tracks in them, but Grand Prix is so funny, like funnily fun designs styled in this game. So the way it works is it's not 4 races, it's 3 races, but the 4th race is basically each lap is you go through the 3 races you just did. So, you know, in general, you already have the cast of every, you know, every match. You have the middle track that goes to the crossover universe, but now you have that added thing, which I love, where the last race of the cup is a big rally of, you know, where you were in the first course, where you were in the second, and where you were in the third. And I think that's a really smart idea, you know, really bringing home the whole CrossWorlds aspect. Obviously, you know, you even get more points if you get first place there. So in terms of how the cup is designed, it's already really differently structured. And also, straight up when you start the cup, like I started with the 3rd cup, and like as soon as I started the Grand Prix, you just got a pop-up that says beat all the cups to get Supersonic. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. So that's going to be an unlockable. That's confirmed in the game. So you're welcome for that information and knowledge. But yeah, I got to play them. I don't remember exactly the order of them, but the tracks that were available throughout were the main one from the Water Palace one that we played in the beta. There was the the main arena, the E Stadium, but newly added was Casino Force. They had Casino Force from Sonic Forces, funny enough, and that level is great visually in Sonic Forces, you know, that game aside. So it made for a really fun course. It's kind of faithful to it too, like you like have a moment where you're jetting through the water, then you're jetting through some different paths. So that part of the level was really fun. You even have a new CrossWorld. They added there was 2 new CrossWorlds that I got access to when I went in there. There was Dragon Road, which Dragon Road is awesome as a CrossWorld. It's literally the level from Unleashed, where literally like on the Dragon Road, you go on the water section from that level. The giant bird boss that you fight at nighttime is flying throughout the level, so that's like such a cool little touch that I loved so much. The other extra CrossWorld area was Alaska. So 2 Unleashed representations, actually 3 technically, because a main stage that it was shown in this demo that I got to play was Apotos, which we've seen a lot of footage of, but fully playing it was so nice. It has like a chill beat version of the song that plays when you're going through it. And what's really cool is even when you play that version of the stage, you can like dash through the chairs and everything just like you can in Unleashed. But the level is like it's fun. It's like a miniature version of that stage. There's a lot of flying sections through it. And again, I forgot, just especially now coming off of Mario Kart World, how much like smaller the Sonic Racing CrossWorlds levels are, right? Like each track in CrossWorlds takes about like 3 minutes, which I think is perfect. And I've said this before and the point still stands. Racing CrossWorlds is awesome and it feels more arcadey, right? With Mario Kart World, it feels like the game is much more expanded in terms of like how big maps are now, in terms of how many secret paths you can take. With Racing CrossWorlds, maybe there's like one other path you can take, but everything is super like small, tight corners, you know, arcadey feel, you know, like it's mainly about getting your boost right. Obviously you have your items to depend on, and speaking of items, I think they definitely took the feedback, because while I was fighting CPUs, so it's not exactly the same thing as when you're gonna fight real people, I did feel like the items were less punishing. I felt like when an item hit me, the amount of time I was like stunned, quote unquote, was lesser. I felt like that buzzsaw item that, you know, ruined things in the beta was like there very, like much more rarely. And so I felt like a lot more of the more punishing items were less frequent, and I felt like the items that do hurt you did not hurt you for as long. So that's another good thing. So it feels like they're taking feedback. You know, obviously an item is still an item. You're still gonna get screwed. That's just how kart racers work. But it did feel at the very least like item balancing is a little bit better and a little bit more back. Dragon Road's CrossWorld is awesome. Alaska one is so gorgeous. You have like the Aurora Boreal in the sky. It takes place at night. You have the giant whale that you ride on from the original game, but like he's just floating in the air now. There's a section where you can choose between going in the water or floating upwards. So beautiful. But something I genuinely wanted to highlight, and this is going to be the standout feature of this game, is the rival system. So you know how like in every kart racer, when you do a Grand Prix, there's always the one CPU that's like on you the entire game, like just constantly like is the one that's trying to run up you. Well, in this game they've gamified that. So essentially when you start the cup, you get an alert showing that this is a rival, like this will be a rival for the cup. And what's so cool about it is you get a unique interaction cutscene with that rival when you start the cup. So I started the cup as Sonic, and it showed my rival was Shadow. And so when you start the first race, you literally get a cutscene of Shadow talking to Sonic, and Sonic talking to him, and like the cameras are dynamic. It's cool, and you'll notice throughout the race like they'll have dialogue between each other, you know, on the top, which is really cool. And also the dialogue between characters is much more frequent, because I remember an issue I had in the beta was that like I had barely gotten any of the interactions, but now it feels like they talk a bit more. But yeah, your rival character will talk, you know, against you. You know, there will be that opening cutscene. Even when you win a race against them, like they'll have like a little shot at the end and be like, oh damn, like they'll say something about it, and those were so cool. So I saw one that was with Sonic and Shadow. There was one where I wanted to play as Jet, and my rival was Wave, right? And so she starts the cutscene saying like, we're on the same team, we're gonna leave with the same blimp. And then like, dude, Jet pulls off the coolest shot for no reason. And it's like, this to me is the continued effort of like more anime like high budget cutscenes from Sega, right? Seeing, you know, Jet pose up and talk shit is just so cool to me. There was another one where it was Storm and the rival was Knuckles, right? And they were talking shit to each other, right? And they get a cool posing, like, you know, the camera pans with Storm like pointing at Knuckles. So stuff like that to me was just so cool. There was one where I was playing as Amy, and so my rival was Tails, and Tails was just saying something, and then Amy's like, I've been, you know, racing far longer than you've been flying. So that was awesome. So stuff like that, I cannot wait to see just how many of these interactions they are. And it's also, again, like I said, it's a smart way to gamify the whole idea of, you know, the #1 CPU. And what's cool is when you beat that CPU in a cup, what'll happen is that when you go to the next cup, it'll basically have a screen asking you, do you want like the same rival at the same level or another rival, and they're even harder. They have like a little flame on them. So really cool way to just gamify the CPUs, right? And also just giving more personality, because I feel like that's just what makes this game stand out a lot more. And, you know, in general, Sonic, right? What stands out about Sonic as a platforming series and a genre is like the characters. And so I feel like the emphasis on having the characters talk and interact is so cool. And even when you win a cup with a character, so they each will have like a victory animation, and it'll play like a song from them. For Sonic, it plays a beat, and you get like da 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 dun dun dun. And then with Amy, right, you'll hear like the ba ba ba, and she'll mention like, you know, that was a sweet victory. When you play as Jet and you win the cup, you hear catch me if you can in the back. So that was awesome. So yeah, when you'll win the cups with different characters, you'll hear their basically track, they'll do a cool pose, and again, it's just little stuff like that, like victory animations matter, right? Throughout the levels when you're doing the tricks and they're pointing and they're doing their cool faces, that stuff matters. And so overall, right, you know, there was also another level that I got to play. There was a Sandopolis level, which was cool. It was definitely a sand level, you know, it had some creepy sections and all that stuff. But another level that stood out to me super well was the mall. There's this new mall level that they added, which is like literally their equivalent of Coconut Mall, because it even has like the escalator system. And that mall was super fun. And there was like presents throughout it. Like there's sections where like you're on the higher floor and you can curve, you can get through like a ring in there, right? And it has the remember, in the third laps, a lot of these, you know, sections change up after you go to the CrossWorld in the middle. Like I said, when it came to the CrossWorlds, it was mainly I saw the Alaska one and the the Dragon Road one, but the rest were like the ones we saw from the beta. But man, the mall level is just like one of my favorites. It's just so well designed. The music in it was super good. In general, I wish I could have recorded the music. I wish I had brought like a capture card, because apparently you could have captured, but it is what it is. But yeah, I thought genuinely, game looks beautiful. Game is still super fun to play. Extreme Gear is still satisfying. It has personality with what they're doing with the characters. Like, I'm just so happy with the state of this game, you know, and especially like I'm literally, you know, right before this video and today earlier I was playing Mario Kart World. Like, I did not go into this and feel like, man, something's missing. It felt perfect for what it was. Like, I genuinely stand by the fact that I think this game is important to Sega. With the emphasis on quality that they're putting on the game, like, it really feels like they care about this. You know, there's unique systems for the Grand Prix. There's the car customization. There's gonna be the online with crossplay, right? I did see in the main menu there's a mode called like Party Park, which apparently is like local multiplayer, but there was also time trial on the main menu, and I hope there's like little events and cool activities you can do. But yeah, no, the game to me is still standing out incredibly well, and I'm just happy with it. I think I'm gonna go back hopefully and get some more footage, but if not, regardless, I was just so happy. Like, I just feel like the game's quality is super fun, and yeah, obviously I wish we lived in a world where Extreme Gear was like Extreme Gear. I think we'll get to that, but I'm just happy it's there. I'm happy that there's like the quality. To me, the rival thing was like the standout thing to me. Like, I love that. That's something just for the fans that just matters. Like, that's stuff that matters to us. Seeing these characters interact and know each other and know the levels they're in, like, that's little stuff that means something to us, you know? So between the new mall level, between the sand level, between going back to the old levels, between the item bounds being better, I think we're looking at a pretty amazing game coming up when it comes to Sonic Racing CrossWorlds. So guys, let me know in the comment section below what you guys think, what you're excited for. And again, like I said, I'll probably go into more in-depth style when I get back. I know there's even more footage and B-roll footage that they've dropped, but overall, I am super happy with the game. Thank you all for watching. All the best. Make sure to subscribe to your boy for more, and of course, I will see you all next time. Peace out.